situation that promote Trump and Duterte to become the president is both of the Americans and Filipinos are not trust their government. They think their government and officers are corrupt, so they actually want a decisive and single-minded guy to just get things done. And they are so tired of those democratic paralysis. So they think the only way that can change their situation is to elect a radically different leader was the only way to enact the real change. And because of those backdrop of the global terrorism, including several attacks on America's soil, Americans also became less confident in the ability of their government to handle those threats. So they actually want someone to promise to them. So on the other hand, if America is a stable country, people will prefer a tight-lipped president like Hillary Clinton. In Philippines, there are also lots of those illegal drugs. So in Philippines, people are worried about those crumbling infrastructure, a broken justice system, and rising crime. So this makes their voters think both Duterte and Trump was spoken in a very familiar way with cursing, funny stories, and jokes. So people think both of them are very authentic, very human, not manufactured. Because many people are living at the edges of the economy, so Trump wins the most working class favorite to make them see the future about getting the job. So Trump against the elites and make himself like those workers. Both Trump and Duterte use their own strategy to get people's support. But first, both Trump and Duterte create a fear in America and the Philippines. Both of them are anti-drugs and anti-those immigration. They think they are bad. Trump also be critical to the Muslims and Mexicans. So actually, there is a homegrown terrorism.
When Mexico sends its people, they're not sending their best. They're not sending you. They're not sending you. They're sending people that have lots of problems. And they're bringing those problems with us. They're bringing drugs. They're bringing crime.
Second, both Trump and Duterte like to insult others. Duterte says Obama was a son of a whore, over suggestions that the U.S. president might challenge him on human rights issues. Trump also made up lots of his speech about Hillary Clinton.
Hillary Clinton, Iran is now the dominant Islamic power in the Middle East and on the road to nuclear weapons. Hillary Clinton's support for violent regime change in Syria has thrown the country into one of the bloodiest civil wars anyone has ever seen. ISIS threatens us today because of the decisions Hillary Clinton has made along with President Obama. For the amount of money Hillary Clinton would like to spend on refugees, we could rebuild every inner city in America. We'll lift restrictions on energy production. We will repeal and replace job-killing Obamacare. It is a total disaster. And we are We are going to make America rich again.
Donald Trump always likes to blame others. First, he blamed those immigrants, the Mexicans, and the second, he says he blamed the judge and the courts if America is attacked. This is a travel ban. And the third is he blamed Hillary Clinton. Duterte defined the drug death. Even thousands of Filipinos who died as a result of the anti-drug campaign. Duterte even praised Hitler. He said Hitler massacred 3 million Jews. Now there are 3 million drug addicts, so I'm really happy to slaughter them. It was very similar with interwar period and right now situation, because at that time the Great Depression happened. So people don't have the food, people don't have the money, so people actually want to change. So they choose someone who can promise to them, and they also want a leader who can keep the order in the country. The leadership strategies that those people use also become similar. First, Mussolini used reminders of the ancient Rome to inspire people to obey the authority. He also condemned the democratic. Those leaders always like to blame someone to inspire all the other people's emotion. Hitler blamed those Jews to make the economy go down. So if there were no Jewish people in Germany, the economy will be better. Duterte says drugs destroy their economy, so he became against the drugs to let people believe him. They are also all promised to those middle class and those workers. In almost all of these countries, the leaders was banned anything that will be criticism of what they think, such as those newspapers and the press. The biggest theory is that voters want to change. They feel Hillary Clinton was so familiar with them, but Trump was so different. He's a businessman. He always says something to please many people. Many things he said even was very controversial or not true, but voters feel it doesn't matter. They just want someone to change something. It's really dangerous to have the demagogue president like Donald Trump, because they always like to make a target to a group of the human beings, such as Mexicans, Muslims, some disabled people, those obvious targets. However, making those an actual target towards a group of people is the best way to raise people's emotion. So it looks like Trump are protecting Americans' benefit. But actually this is a wrong movement. It is a totally wrong assumption. Hitler used the same theory against the Jews. Jews bring trouble to Germans and take their working opportunities. So he add more fear to the public. So it makes the only way to improve their life is to listen to Hitler. So everyone was desperate and this idea appears. So at some point, it got so rough that people were willing to go along with blaming it all on Jews if the plan offers some sort of hope that things will get better. Demagogues make an argument based on false claims and appeal to emotion rather than reason, so it was really dangerous to have those demagogue president. Trump always liked to put himself at the position of the nation's hero. Trump was so consistent on his greatness is America's greatness. Well, all politicians need to point out the danger to the people and criticize the opponent's policies. But demagogues choose their words for their effect on the audience emotions. Usually they without regard for the factual truth or the real severity of the danger. So from the history we can see it is really dangerous and effortless to have a demagogue president like Hitler. He killed the race of the people. So in Philippines, people need to think it is not worth to just focus on drugs. So they need to shift their attention to more pressing issues such as poverty and unemployment and even the traffic in the big cities.